If you're a general contractor, chances are that you may have heard of a Project Specific General Liability policy. If you haven't heard of it, it's something that you really should know because it could provide a great option or resource for you, for your coverage and your protection for your business. In today's video, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about a Project Specific General Liability policy and determine whether it's the right choice for your general construction company. Thanks so much for watching. Hey guys, my name is Mike, and I've been serving construction companies for 20 years, helping them with their commercial insurance programs, helping them with their risk management, their compliance, and their loss control, and helping general contractors become the best business that they possibly can be. First and foremost, what is a project-specific policy is exactly what it sounds like. It's a policy that is written to cover one specific job. Now, keep in mind that there's pros and cons, just like anything, and understanding the positives and the negatives of project-specific policy is important for you to make the right choice. So let's talk about that today. First of all, a project-specific policy does have some benefits. It has a lot of benefits, actually. Now, this is something that you're probably not going to find if you research it online. Here's something that I tell my clients all the time. If you're doing a job that is either high profile or it's not within the normal course of the work that you perform. So let's say, for example, you're a general contractor, you specialize in residential remodels and additions. Now, all of a sudden, you have a client that you've done work for in the past. They really like you. They want you to build a new home from the ground up, custom home. Of course, you can handle the job. You're a contractor. You have relationships with your subs. You know the industry. So you're going to take on that project. But this is not a project that you normally do. So your normal insurance program is not going to provide coverage for new residential custom homes. Here's a case where you want to buy a project-specific policy or look into it. And I'm going to give you some reasons in a second. Another situation. Let's say you're a commercial contractor. Okay. You do all types of commercial jobs. It could be new construction. It could be TIs. It could be anything commercial. Now, all of a sudden, you have an opportunity to do a residential build. Same type of thing. Although they fall within being a general contractor and doing a project, the type of project is different than what you normally would do. Here's another example. Let's say you build homes. You're a home builder, and your normal homes are, 2,500 to 3,500 square feet. Construction costs, 1 to 1.2 million range if you're here in California. Well, now all of a sudden you have an opportunity to build a 10,000 square foot home with $10 million in construction costs. Again, a little bit different or outside the normal scope of what the work you'll do. Here's where project-specific policies could be a game changer for you. You don't have to alter it to ensure that that policy is going to cover you for this job that you're getting or this contract that you're signing for this larger custom home or custom home that you don't normally won't build. Not only that, but here's the big one. And you have to remember this, and people don't remember this. Let's say you changed your practice policy or you bought a policy that you were going to maintain to cover the custom home. Well, now you have to renew it every year with that coverage for a custom home because on an occurrence form policy, it's the date that occurrence takes place that policy will trigger and is responsible to cover the loss. Therefore, let's say you build a home in 2025 and in 2028 you get sued, something that went wrong on that project, resulting property damage or resulting bodily injury. You have to have a policy in 2028 that's going to cover you if the occurrence takes place in 2028 on that policy term. So that means that you're going to have to renew your normal coverage, your practice policy every year to maintain coverage for that home that you built. Now, why would you want to do that? It's going to cost you more money. It's going to put more pressure on your risk management. It's going to require that you underwrite each year for the work that you did in the past rather than expected to do what you normally would do. So that's the big reason why we like to really lean on project-specific policies for our clients that are doing kind of like these one-off types of projects. Now, what other positives does a project-specific policy have? One, the limits could be higher. You can achieve higher limits on a project-specific policy. Two, it keeps your normal coverage, your everyday coverage, this project away from that. So if you have a claim, it's not going to impact your everyday policy that you've had for years and you continue to maintain. Three, once the project ends, you know where the coverage lies. You know that built-in tail, and we like to say a 10-year tail. And there are endorsements, there are policy term endorsements in these project-specific policies that dictate when that tail starts. But a substantially completed project will kick in that 10-year tail. Well, now you know where that claim's going to go. And by the way, in California, we always write with the 10-year tail. If you have sunset clauses or any other types of manifestation or types of changes to the policy at this agency, that's not something we really play around with. That policy is designated for that particular project. And another big reason for the project-specific policy is it puts at ease, the owners, there's a developer involved, any stakeholders in that job, they know that there's a policy designated for that project. And you do too, as the builder, it's there. The limits won't get exhausted on other policies. Any claims that come against you from other jobs aren't going to impact the limits of this policy. So it isolates the coverage and keeps it available, puts everyone at ease in the job. Now, of course, with anything, there's going to be cons. Here are some of the cons that are going to come with a project-specific policy. Number one, they're typically more expensive. When you start to add up those higher limits and the fact that there's the built-in tail tail. And most times they're going to protect against a project that's a little more high profile. It's going to cost you more money. Plus the fact that you have to maintain another policy also for your regular ongoing operations, your practice policy that I talked about. Now you're paying for 2 policies. They're more expensive. It gets a little dicey with the term of the policies too. Now, typically when we write a project specific policy, minimum 24 months, because like I said, normally they're for higher valued, higher profile jobs. Sometimes we'll do 18, but we really advise against it. 36 months. We even wrote one recently for 4 years. The problem is that if the project is going to take longer than the policy, it's a good idea to try to negotiate that as early on in the policy term as possible. Because as you get closer to the expiration, that's when a lot of the negotiation power decreases, because that insurance company knows you can't really switch coverage at that time. You're not going to go to another project specific policy. You're not going to go to like a regular practice policy or moving on to that at this point. Now things go sideways on projects. Delays happen, whether it's because of supply, materials, permitting becomes an issue, subcontractor issues, whatever it may be, things that you can't control. That's one of the issues with the project specific policy. It's really sometimes hard to time it, but the earlier you can negotiate the term, the better. Their negative is they're not always the best for smaller, lower value jobs. If you're a contractor that doesn't normally build homes at all, and let's say you're building a home that's not a real high profile, high value job, they could be more cost restricted because they have minimum premiums and they just might not be as good. So that's something that you have to talk to your insurance professional about, or give us a call and we can look at that. The fourth reason, administrative complexities, more work. You have additional policies, so you're gonna have to do additional audits. You're gonna have to keep track of these policies. When you do your audit for your practice policy, you got to remember to omit the costs and the receipts or the activity on your project specific policy. So those are some of the negatives of the policy. But again, it's really knowing what your choices are, what your options are, looking at the big picture, looking to see if this is a type of policy that could be something that helps you. I mean, we've had clients that felt like they were kind of, getting a job that they wanted to take on, but they felt like they were kind of trapped by their insurance program. And we want to make sure that never happens. It shouldn't be your insurance program that dictates what you could do. Now, open lines of communication are important to let your insurance professional know what you want to do or plan for those projects, especially again, if it's not in the scope of your normal work. But I hate to see insurance program dictate or eliminate the opportunity for businesses to grow. So I think that the project specific policy is a great resource for that. And again, talking to your insurance professional, understanding it's an option out there, something that you should look into. So I hope this video was helpful. I also wrote a blog about this subject. You can find a link to that blog here in the description of the video. I posted an article on LinkedIn. Feel free to read it. I recorded this video off the top of my mind. I didn't follow the blog exactly. So it might be something that you want to read, something that you can relate to or refer back to. I think it could be helpful. All other questions you might have, or if you want to reach out, please feel free to call me directly. I have a lot of experience with project specific policies. I really enjoy them. I enjoy putting programs together for my clients, strategizing to see what a great program is for your business, not only for protection, but for growth. So give me a call at 858-384-1507, or you can email me at mike@foagency.com. I also respond to all comments and questions here on this video on YouTube. So please make sure to go ahead and post those here. And please remember, if you like my videos, if they're helpful, if they provide any value to you at all, give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel. It really helps me. And click that little notification bell so that you're made aware of all future videos that I release. Thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Take care.